Hey, Emily, have you ever tracked a package and noticed it was stuck on in transit to next facility for what seemed like forever?
Oh, absolutely, Jake. It's like watching paint dry, but with more anxiety. You start wondering if your package is on an epic journey or just lost in the void.
Right? That status update from Australia Post, in transit to next facility, really piques curiosity. What does it actually mean, and is there anything we can do about it?
Well, let's dive into that. When Australia Post updates a package's status to in transit to next facility, it means the package is on its way to another sorting center for further processing.
So, it's essentially on a moving vehicle heading towards the next Australia Post sorting center. That sounds straightforward enough.
Exactly, Jake, but here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes packages can get stuck on this status for days or even longer. Ever wondered why that happens?
I have, actually. It's kind of frustrating when you're eagerly waiting for something. What are some reasons a package might linger on that status?
There are a few reasons. For starters, the package might not have been scanned again after the initial in-transit update. This could be due to a technical glitch or simply because it didn't receive another scan.
That makes sense. So it could actually be closer to delivery than the tracking suggests.
Precisely. Another reason could be the long distance between sorting facilities. Sometimes the vehicles transporting the packages find the next facilities backed up, leading to further delays.
Ah, the domino effect. One delay leads to another, and before you know it, your package is on an unintended tour of the country.
Exactly. And don't forget about transit delays. Inclement weather, accidents, and other unforeseen events can all contribute to packages being stuck in transit to next facility for an extended period.
It's like a mini adventure for the package, minus the fun for us waiting on the other end. Any other reasons?
Yes, backlogs during peak times like Black Friday or the holiday shopping season can cause significant delays. And sometimes packages can even get temporarily lost, especially smaller ones that might slip through the cracks at a facility.
Wow, there's a lot more going on behind that simple status update than I realized. It's a whole ecosystem of logistics and unforeseen challenges.
Absolutely, Jake. And if you're on the receiving end of a package stuck on in-transit to next facility, it's recommended to contact the sender if it's been several days past the guaranteed delivery date. They're the ones who can take action, like sending a replacement or issuing a refund.
That's a great tip, Emily. It's a bit of a relief knowing there's a course of action to take. Hey, listeners, have you ever had a package stuck on in transit to next facility? What was your experience like? Share your stories with us on social media or our podcast platform.
And speaking of specific updates, Jake, there's more to in transit to next facility than meets the eye. For instance, if you see in transit to next facility in Welshpool, WA, it means your package is heading to Welshpool, Western Australia for further sorting.
Interesting. So it's not just about the package moving, but also where it's moving to. That could give us a clue about how close it is to delivery, right?
Exactly. And similarly, if the update says in transit to next facility in Sydney West and Eswabo, it indicates that the parcel is going for sorting at the facility in Greater Western Sydney. It's all about understanding the journey of your package.
That makes a lot of sense. Knowing the specifics can definitely help manage our expectations and maybe even ease some of that anxiety we talked about earlier.
Absolutely. And while it's frustrating when a package seems stuck, it's important to remember that there are often valid reasons behind these delays. It's all part of the complex logistics that ensure our packages eventually reach us.
Right. The world of logistics is more intricate than we usually think. Hey, Emily, before we wrap up this segment, do you have any final thoughts or tips for our listeners dealing with a stuck package?
Well, my biggest piece of advice would be patience. But if it's been several days past the expected delivery date, don't hesitate to contact the sender. They're in the best position to help, whether it's sending a replacement or issuing a refund.
Patience and communication. Got it. Thanks for the insights, Emily. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Remember, we're always eager to hear your experiences and tips, too. So don't be shy. share them with us on social media or through our podcast platform.
And while reaching out to the sender is a solid first step, it's also worth noting that directly contacting Australia Post as the recipient might not be as helpful.
Really, why's that?
Because Australia Post's primary contract is with the sender, not the recipient. So they're more likely to take action or provide information when the sender reaches out to them.
That makes sense. It's all about who has the relationship with the postal service. But it's good to know there's a clear path to follow if your package gets stuck.
Exactly. And remember, patience is key. Logistics can be complex, and sometimes things take a bit longer than expected, but knowing what steps to take can definitely help ease some of the frustration.
Absolutely. Hey listeners, have you ever had to contact the sender because a package was stuck on in transit to next facility? What was your experience like? We'd love to hear your stories and how it was resolved.
Sharing your experiences can really help others feel less alone in their shipping woes. Plus, it's always interesting to hear how different situations are handled.
Definitely. Well, that wraps up our discussion on what to do if your package is stuck on in transit to next facility. But don't go anywhere just yet. We've got more interesting topics coming up right after this break.